Yourself and why?
I gave myself a 6 because I try to use literary devices, and I also try to use like smaller quotes that I can integrate it better.
Okay. So I agree with you. I gave you the same 6. I said it was solid work. I thought your analysis was solid. What you still have to work on is still using more literary language. So that's definitely one of our goals that we want to work on. And then you have to also focus on the tenses. And that's just, that's just a little thing. So for next time, if you want to write that on your sheet, make sure that you're paying attention to adding literary devices, because when you do that, it's going to even help, it's going to elevate your analysis even more. So you want to use literary devices, focus on the tenses, and then still work on that development at the very end. So those are your 3 key things. But you definitely, clearly, it's that you understand the text and you answered the question properly. The evidence you use is strong, but those are the things that I want you to work on for next time. Okay? All right, thank you. Okay, how come?
Because I kind of understood what I was writing, and then the goal for next time was to elaborate on my evidence a little more.
Okay, all right, so you gave a 3 and your goal is to elaborate. So I am 1 above you. I actually gave you a 4. Because from the beginning of the year, you've definitely seen growth. You're now able to choose quotations. You partially integrate them, which is good. There's no quotation plopping, so there's definitely been an improvement since the first couple time writings. So if you want to type this down in there for yourself, you got to make sure that you're following the MLA requirements. So no contractions and no first person. So you got to make sure that you kind of MLA. Yeah. So that's no contractions and no first person. CONTRACTIONS. And then you want to know first person. So you don't want to say like I think or we do, anything like that. It should just be strictly analysis.
Still some not made.
And then your other thing, and I agree with you on part of that, so your goal was to make sure you elaborate on your analysis. So with that, you have to be careful to avoid summary, plot summary, so add that in. Because what you're doing is you're picking out quotes, and the quotes are okay, they're fine, but you just basically in your essay, you tell me what they mean, you just kind of rephrase them, but you don't explain the purpose of them. So you got to make sure that you avoid that, okay? So every time you put a quote inside your writing, think about what purpose does this serve. Okay, so that's what I want you to definitely work on. So we were very close with the score, and you're spot on with your goal. So let's work on that for next time. All right, thank you. All right, Amanda, so what did you give and why?
I said either a 3 or a 4.
Okay.
Because when I think I did good, like when I was giving evidence, it talked about like imagery.
Okay.
But then when I kind of like did the analysis for it, I talked more about like the plot, and it like kind of took away from the emphasis.
Right, so we agree. I said you had all the parts, so you're not necessarily on the rubric. I know it says a 4 is missing something, so it's not like you're missing a quote or anything, but you're missing the rich analysis, like you said. So just make sure, I think you actually already have it on here. You definitely want to work on avoid the plot, exactly. And then also you want to pay attention to using the literary language. So you want to add in that language. So you said you added in the part about imagery. So instead of just explaining what the imagery was, what you need to do is explain the purpose of Elie Wiesel putting it in there. Okay, so just like I told Dan, what you really want to do is focus on, so I'm picking this piece of evidence, what purpose does it serve for me? Because you want it to be a vehicle to help you. So think for that for next time. And also you want to focus on development at the end. So don't just restate, kind of broaden it. What does this mean for me as, a teenager sitting in Bethel High School? Okay, so try to broaden that too. But we're, again, same score, and you'll definitely know exactly what you have to work on for next time. All right, perfect, thank you.
I would do my double 4.
How come?
Because I didn't have errors, and like some grammar was bad, and I repeated a lot in the second paragraph about the rabbi saying like that God's not with us and gave up.
Okay. So I am actually 1 above you for this one. So I give you the 5. So some things, and it's actually already on here now, but because I sent it back, but you have to make sure that you're focusing on tense. I thought that a lot of students struggled with picking that second quote and having it connect back to their thesis. Yours fit. So even though you did have a little bit of redundancy in explaining it, you have to work on the analysis. The fact that you picked a strong quote is really key because it does help prove your thesis. So you want to continue to still work on developing the analysis, and you have to start using literary language. All right, so think about, what purpose, or what do I see in here? Is it a simile? Is it a metaphor? There has to be some purpose in there that you can try to pick out and then talk about. And then also the development at the end, you got to pay attention to also. All right, so keep doing what you're doing. I'm glad that you're integrating quotes, so that's much smoother, that you are picking strong quotes to actually use to support your thesis, but you just got to get that literary analysis in there a little bit stronger. All right, fantastic, thank you. Right.
So talk to me about how you scored yourself today.
So I think on the rubric for timed writing, I scored a 5.
Okay, tell me why.
And I was looking at the criteria for it, so I included more than 2 pieces of evidence. I had a claim. I felt that my analysis on this one was kind of basic, not as much as I needed. I tried to integrate my quotes better, like not just saying he says this, they say that. And it showed somewhat of an understanding. The thesis needed more literary language.
Yeah, so your thesis was one of the examples, right?
Yes.
So it was strong, and it was really good that it had that you hit that theme and the significance of the cycle of vengeance. So that was really good. And I see you had, your previous goal was get a 5, integrating quotations, and then your new goal is to score a 6 by integrating quotations and including more analysis. Okay, well, I'm going to have to tell you, I think you need to revise your goal. I gave you a 6, actually, because I felt like you had lots of pieces of evidence in here that were really well integrated, and your explanations of your evidence were pretty strong in connection with that thesis. In particular, in this body paragraph, when you showed the way that the monster is feeling and after Henry Clerval's death, and how this lack of friends for the monster kind of creates that lack of companionship that leads him to keep seeking revenge. I thought that was really strong. I think the only thing that's keeping you from scoring even more highly is the development, which is maybe where you should focus your goal for next time. Because this last point you have, the monster and Victor switch places and experience a lack of friends leading to devastation, doesn't really take your response to the next level past what you already said in your introduction. So what you really want to do is say Mary Shelley uses the switching of the 2 characters, like to advocate that people not isolate themselves or something along those lines. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you just need to push it a little bit further into the purpose Mary Shelley has for that, and that'll get you into that 7-8 category. All right?
Okay.
Nice job, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay. How did you score yourself today?
I know.
Tell me why.
Because I feel that it's not as sophisticated as it could have been, but it's also I summarized it and I didn't analyze it as well. And I think that my thesis could have been stronger.
Yeah. So the note I have for you is actually pretty much exactly the same. There's a pretty hefty amount of summary of the cycle of vengeance between the 2 characters here. And you started in your thesis statement, which was very promising, to say the attitudes of revenge or battle between the monster and Victor are highlighted through the monster's acts of murder, and they're driven by his isolation and anger. So that has a lot of promise in terms of the theme statement. So you were right on the cusp of getting there. You just didn't come out and explicitly state that revenge is a result of like one's creator's isolation, which is really one of the things Mary Shelley is saying. So the idea is knocking around in your head. You just had a little difficulty concretely coming out and sort of proving it. So just make sure when you're writing that you're answering the question in an analytical manner, because the question question wasn't to summarize the cycle of vengeance, it was to analyze it.
Okay.
So what's your goal for next time?
Probably a 6. I think last time I had didn't I have a 4? Like,
Yes,
so
you
I-
did, so we're showing growth, which is good. What do you need to do to score a 6?
Like definitely not summarize and make sure my thesis, like I'm answering my thesis throughout the essay and not just like randomly summarizing the book.
So the key, I think, for you is going to be writing a very clear thesis statement for you to follow
Yeah.
that answers the question directly. So what I'm going to suggest is next time we do a timed writing in class, bring me your thesis statement once you have it, and I'll check it over and make sure you're going in the right direction.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
That way we're not wasting time writing summary, and I can kind of help guide you if you're off track a little bit, and that should help. Okay?
Thank you.
So talk to me about this.
Okay. So I give myself a 4 because I remember being crazy rushed and like I didn't get to read it over at the end because I didn't have enough time. And I noticed that my thesis was out of order because I ended up changing the order of my body paragraphs.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where I am.
How did you feel about your actual analysis, what you included in your body paragraph?
I thought it was pretty good because I had 2 quotations and then I thought that I was able to analyze them without repeating myself a bunch, which I usually do, which I thought was nice.
I agree with that. I think your analysis was pretty strong here, and your perspective was really good too. I scored you a 6 because I feel like that analysis was pretty on point. My suggestion for you, and I heard you say that you were feeling like you were rushed, and the big comment I have for you is it feels like your analysis didn't quite go far enough because you were trying to include too many points.
Okay.
So for a longer essay, great to write 3 paragraphs. For a timed writing in class and you only have an hour, write 2. Because that will give you more time to find a third piece of evidence for one of those points or to kind of develop your idea a little bit further and give you time at the end of class to go back and reread. So pick the 2 strongest out of the 3 you're considering and really hone your focus a little bit. And I think that would make this a little bit stronger and would have pushed you into that 7 or 8 category. So I would say, I see that you put your goal for next time is a 6, but you've accomplished that here. So I would put your goal for next time is to do more development in fewer paragraphs. Like, so develop your analysis a little bit more strongly. And